With the new patch out, things have really heated up. We've been enjoying so many of the quality of life changes, but most of all, probably some of the new weapon system is by far the thing we are enjoying the most, particularly the electromagnetic Triforce beam of doom or destruction. This thing is absolutely game changing. In the last video, we were looking at how to get the most out of using your 406s and what is sort of required to give them the best and most efficient setup and design. But now we need to answer the question, is it really going to be a new meta? We've all gotten so used to building Hellfires who reign supreme over our enemies, but is it obsolete? And can we get away with just building a shell base where we barely build any ammo and we're just primarily focused on producing shells and using probably the coolest weapon system in the whole game? Now for starters, why would this be something we would want to consider when we also have the addition of the mighty rocket array? Well, the rocket array by default does more damage than the Hellfire. It has quite an offensive upkeep of 300 material. One of the things that I thought was really annoying about this at the start was that you could not connect it to an autoloader. But now in situations like this, it's really good to have an option where we can have a weapon system that does not require any kind of conveyor belt or autoloaders, because it can be completely freestanding in many unusual builds or spaces. So it is actually really cool that we do have it unconnected to conveyor belts. I hope we can kind of do both, perhaps have it connected if we wanted to or not, but more testing of the rocket array will come. It is quite a hefty upkeep, so we'll see how that works out. But for the purpose of this video, we are going to be hyper focused onto the 406, and because we can fire one single shot, this is going to become a very viable option, if not probably one of the most potent sort of bases, where you have a lot more focus on electromagnetic cruiser cannons than your Hellfire, just due to that it does so much more damage and it rotates fast. It's basically the most overpowered ultimate cannon that we have right now, and I hope they never change it because it is the coolest weapon system currently in the game. Now, as mentioned before in the last video, we were looking at how to structure and position your 406 electromagnetic cruiser cannons for the most optimal efficiency, and we discovered that having quite a nice gap under the turret is what's going to allow it to function properly. So having this layout where I've actually rotated the electromagnetic cannons to face out has been a much more preferable and more efficient way of structuring this particular base. And now I'm going to have to do the same on this side because currently these all face forward. However, they perform very well in this configuration as well, but I want to be able to squeeze in 5 on each side to really try to push the limits of a base that is predominantly fed by shells. Just looking at the base right now, we can see a bunch of shells collecting here, so we will have to add in a conveyor belt to run these back into the hole so we do not get any wasted. But to run a base like this, we first have to understand how do the shell makers work. Well, the shell makers will produce a single shell every 60 seconds, costing 150 resource. So running electromagnetic cruisers and a ton of them are going to cost way more than, say, the equivalent rocket array or Hellfire. For this reason, we are avoiding any damage amplifiers, as my understanding is they still will cause you to consume more ammo, which we simply cannot afford. And before we truly test this in the infinite mode, how efficient is the new electromagnetic weapon in the desert region or city ruins at difficulty 5 when we have as many of the risk incidents we can possibly get and have it completely maxed? Well, we're going to go ahead and see how it goes in that scenario. Okay, so here we are now. We've got 20 activated events, so this should make it very challenging. We have some of the new risk incidents, which is the highway, destroy all enemies on recovery day, with that grants a cache of heroic quality materials. These are awesome. Now this appears to stack, so I'm not sure if that is a bug or if that is how it's meant to be played, but it's pretty cool that we can stack it. We could get some more of these risk incidents, but I want to hang on to the material because I'm going to need that for the shells. If you wanted to make this super easy, you would just spend a lot more time converting more of the stuff you find into material. I converted a ton of it, so I can go in here a little bit easier, and that's what you tend to do anyway. Try go in there with a bit of material so you can sit back and relax as much as possible. At least in this instance, we're going to just try AFK it, but with so many risk incidents, it should make it a bit more challenging for sure, even for an end game base. But you can see we've also got Red Blaze, Death from Above, so these are pretty sure these are both new as well. Double the region, so really cool risk incidents. And I believe there might be perhaps, I don't know, maybe 24. I think there was 18 risk incidents before the patch in total. There might be a few more, at least that ones that you can activate here, because you can't activate every single different hazard or risk incident. Some of them you can only get through playing the tour, so keep that in mind. There's a limited number of ones you can activate in this recovery menu. Okay, so with that said, we've got 800 seconds to get through, so we'll jump in and let's give this a crack. Can we get by on quite a difficult max difficulty kind of scenario using mostly shells. Let's find out. So what I might do, I might not include every single bit of footage just to make it a bit quicker and enjoyable for you, but I'm not entirely sure. So we'll just see how we go. So we've loaded in, we've got the flames, which I'm pretty sure is a new side effect of some of the risk incidents, the heroic ones that drop cool gear at the end. So first off, we are just going to go into the command mode and we're just going to turn the shell makers on. So the other thing we will do though, because I will have to use some kind of backup, which we will feed few of the Hellfires some ammo. So we have a few here down the bottom, which will feed just the bottom middle layer. So we'll put those on as well, but we'll just wait a little bit for the first mount of shells to get created too. They will take, I think, a minute from memory or once we hit reset. However, we may just turn the ammo on as well. Now, with having so many risk incidents, getting down into the trenches yourself is going to be very difficult because it's only going to take a couple hits, pretty much annihilate whatever kind of health or armor you have. So we will have to consider at least ejecting some of these mechs here in the mech bay just in case we need them as a backup, because that's why they're there. And if we need to go around and do some work ourselves, is ideally you would be using a combination of this regardless, but the main primary focus of this is we will be relying entirely on shells. And for the most part, these bad guys here who are currently configured to attack everything, I will just make a few changes to some of these towers and what they target, particularly on this left flank here. We would just actually set them up to maybe not target all guys. We'll see how that works, because the trouble is I have to reconfigure this side to be more like this, as this will have a much better functionality than this side, just because sometimes these guys will shoot down too close to the base and hit this other cannon. So a few things I can work on here, but here we go. We're just starting and we're getting through the first few waves. So we'll just eject all the mechs that we have, and for the most part we will be AFK in this, just test it. Now this is an end game base. This is hundreds of hours in accumulation, so I'm thinking it's quite worthwhile that with all that time spent that it should in theory not require too much help other than maybe jumping in the mech. But the main purpose is again just to see how these brutal magnetic 406 mills go. And we can see I've actually incorrectly, I know some of them are still, oh, are they active? Oh, they were turned off, my bad. Okay, there we go. Now they're on. Now we do get the nebula landing too, but the good thing is they don't tend to land on your base so much anymore. Or they do in some instances, you can see right here. But and they do quite a bit of damage. Almost taken out a tower. Can't quite reach it. Too close. Okay, we finally got it killed. But you can see, look at it, this, if only this could be slightly higher, maybe it could hit here. One of the tough things about this particular map is that even if you take these cores, it doesn't really push the enemy back too much further. It's a very small map, very tiny, but there's little optionality there to really make use of pushing the waves back, which is fine. So we weren't really worried about that. I mean, we could, if we wanted to, take this tower here at the front just to see how that would kind of work. Now, the cool thing is with these 406s is that, oh, we've got the first apostle, we've got a railgun apostle. Now, maybe building that tower isn't a good idea because they are getting, oh, it's gone down anyway. We've got a few guys actually making it through here on the bottom. One thing we probably need to do, which I forgot, is these guys are set not to attack the small guys. So we'll just change that because that makes quite a big difference in the end. But what an absolute craziness. This looks so cool with all the 406s. They can also at times punish or destroy the the aircraft, but do the dropships. So the dropships can be built from a few shots of the 406, which can really decrease the spawn of all the different scorpions and enemies. So that's a really nice touch there. You can manually target them as well. The good thing about having this layout facing to the left here is that they will instantly take out whatever's on this side, whereas these guys constantly have to rotate forward and back, and that is a real big redundancy that we can mitigate in this base, and that's why I'll be setting up this side very similar to this side. Now it looks like from the ATC-10 you can pretty much at most fit 6 of the 406s like in a line like this. That's probably the most you can fit on a base, but I mean you can build them all around, but in terms of length weight, probably 6 is the most you can squeeze on, and then you get a few more at the front. But I mean you could turn a whole base into a 406, which would be a cool thing to try, just having a complete base, a complete shell base. But let's take a look at how things are going here. Now we've got a bit of a shell build up, and I'm going to rework this bit here because you can see we've got a ton of shells, which is kind of good because that's going to feed down into the lower levels and also start feeding some of these other ones that will eventually work all the way around to these guys here. But unfortunately there is a bit of a bad setup here here where all the shells will get fed into some of the other auto loaders, or it makes it to the end corners. But the other thing, but to mitigate that little bit, I have put a few ammo round creators, ammo makers, to feed some of these 406s at the corner here. Whoa, that looks cool. Now the reason we had such a spare time there is because these 406s are taking out some of the dropship, which means we kill it so quick, just makes it that much more efficient. So we're halfway through. We're going to get into some of the harder apostles in not too long. They are certainly a worthy challenge. Now we could probably, looking at this, add some more risk incidents because we are still kind of just charging through this with little to no worry at this point. And this is what you would kind of expect with the amount of hours and time put into an end game base. There's so much you can improve on in terms of, putting more hellfires on. One thing I'm considering is replacing this bottom row here just to have hellfires and to make it a bit more potent on damage. But at the same time, this front layer is so stacked in terms of defense and armor that it works quite well. It's a bit of a toss-up. Probably don't need to consider doing something like that, especially going with the shell route. Building just primarily shells and feeding the 406 is going to be doing way more damage than the hellfires, just the range and where it can reach. But at least we can see that you can easily get by if we were just to disable or have a look at all the different ammo. So we got a little bit of a weak ammo feed here at top. It is completely depleted. So one little thing that could be improved on here is that probably need some way to get more shells up into these first two towers. But we'll just see how we go. See how they do these ones. This is perfect. Facing to the side here just makes it so much quicker. Whereas these guys on the right here struggle so much more because they have to rotate. So a bit of a spacing issue here too. So some of them don't rotate quite properly or work as good as they can. But I mean, we are breezing through this. The apostles are about to spawn. Now these guys can take a hunt. So we'll just sort of zoom out. They'll be able to take easily, maybe 4 shots, maybe more from 406, depending on how many risk incidents you have, what the go is. But here we go. We've got the Blade Apostle. Blade Apostle charges your base. Ready? Look at it go. Just and the thing is, without the hellfires on right now, we could be in a bit of trouble because they get so close to the base. And look at this. This guy is absolutely, what is that? It is over 250,000 health, or is that million? Might even be million. But oh, okay. So he is getting through the base. So we are going to have to get some of the oh shit, we've lost power to the second floor. Now the good thing about this base is that the outer rim is completely a separate structure to what's it called, the rest of the base. So if we can get these guys through here quick, smart, we don't want him to get to the core, because if he gets forward, we are in a bit of trouble. Just trouble getting these guys across. A little bit tight here, so it's hard to get the mechs through. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I have to take him out with these guys, but you can see how deadly these apostles are. So with all those risk incidents, so it's one good thing about this base is, I mean, it's pretty bad that we've lost power to all of it. I wouldn't have thought we would have lost power to all of it, so that's something I'm going to have to fix. I thought there was a few more redundancies built in, but what this means is that this second floor up here will still function fine. It's completely separate to what's it called, the whole base. So it's 2 separate structures within one. One is not dependent on the other too much. Oh wow, we've got heaps of scorpions down here. We may be in a bit of trouble here. This is going to be very close. Look at these guys. They're monstering through the base. We'll just have to leave these guys here. I mean, we've got more mechs at the back. Oh geez, we've got a bit of lag here. Cyrus is dead at least. Oh, we should have watched that incoming. Oh my gosh, we're getting overrun now. Okay, so we got to be careful here. We're going to have to get these guys involved as well, except for that they are getting absolutely stuck on nonsense, and the lag is so bad. Hold on, come on, lag is really bad right now. Okay, got control again. Oh wow, we are gonna get killed. I can't move. Game's lagging so bad. Can't do anything. Nothing's, oh geez. Okay, not looking good. It's getting through the whole base. Look at that. We're just hanging on because the core is still holding, but as soon as they get through the core, we're dead. Getting through the core, yeah. Wow, look at that, eating my base up. Let's see how long it lasts. 20 risk incidents. Oh man. So we probably needed to put the what's it called? Oh, she was absolutely not liking what's going on. Base is just go. Oh, there it goes. Oh wow, crazy. Okay, so there you go. So what we'll do is we'll just hit escape, because I'll have to redo this again. I don't want to lose all the stuff that I've gathered. But that was a bit of fail. So let's just retry this and do a little bit differently. We'll exit to main menu. So a bit of a cheese here. So definitely this time we'll have the 406s targeting the small guys at all costs. We'll put the mechs in front. Okay, we're back. Let's see if we can pull it off this time. So we will. Now, if we wanted to make this even easier, you just come into this mode with even more material and then just have so much for shell production and some ammo production. This time I'm just going to change the different ammo makers that are working. So some feed the top a little bit and on the sides. Therefore, I don't think these ones are included because I have actually changed some of these around. So they are on. Excellent. Wait, okay, so with that in mind, we will actually eject the mechs as well. Got some of them microed, but for the most part, can't actually eject the different ones at different times. A bit fortunate, at least when they're in multiple groups. So we'll just eject all these guys out. Now the trouble with having such a big base like this is that trying to yeah, there we go. Okay, so not a complete reliance on the 406s, so we will need some little bits of help, but these guys will still be putting in most of the work and probably doing way more than previous 406 cruiser cannon. Trying to get all these guys around can be bloody pain. Now yeah, the base is probably too big to start with, but have we got these guys on at least? Yeah, they should all be on. Just check what they're targeting. Okay, they're targeting everything. Okay, there we go. It took like, I don't know, a couple minutes just to get the mechs out. Bit of a shame. Bro, these guys at the front here. We do also have all this stuff we could be using, which I completely forgot about and honest. So maybe we will also utilize some of these things while we can. Even just use stake walls. I mean, we should get through this so much easier now. Utilizing some of the other things. Didn't really have to worry about the flanks. The flanks were kind of taken care of nicely. Just this part of the front here. You can see this is why I need to change this configuration, because it's just nuking the other cruiser cannon down here, which I probably could shift a little bit further in, maybe avoid that collision. But again, with these being pushed forward, it might help that, and being facing out, they'll be targeting the front a lot less and leaving that through the front turret. That was the idea. You don't really want these ones up on the top, be facing and trying to fire forwards all the time. So definitely a crazy good thing to do is face and flank. Maybe we've got quite a bit, or anything even on right now. Yeah, okay, so these ammo makers are on. Shell makers are on, I mean. We have the ammo. Check to see if the ammo makers are on. Some of them are, some of them aren't. And these guys on. Have a look at check where we're up to. So yeah, okay, these guys are on. So we should be getting quite a good amount of shells and ammo. Don't have any overflow of the shells. Oh, yep, here we go. So we're getting some overflow now. Okay, that Hellfire's out. Not getting much ammo. Trouble. Could be deadly. We need those Hellfires. Unfortunately, we can't rely on completely just the 406 as I was hoping. But you can see it's still making quick work of most of it. Did a few precautions and it should be good. How much faster are the guys as well with some of these updates? They're so fast. They just come through like nothing. That's why having these stake walls are really going to help. What I also need to do is, since I only have 3 Hellfires at facing forward, is that this is going to be a good time to use your damage amplifiers. Because I only have 3. They will chew up more ammo, but I mean, that extra damage output going to be nice. Some of them have a bit of a boost here. I didn't think I had any damage amplifiers. No, just from some of the cards that you get. So we're nearly not even halfway yet, but we're getting there. We should get through this easier. Where did we really get in trouble? Probably just before the Apostles. So now with some walls and stuff in place, we should be fine. Be interesting to see if the Apostles still get stuck up onto the walls when you build them under. I don't know if they've tried to reduce that tendency. They probably have. I think there was some patch notes a while ago that said they would focus less on stake walls, but we'll just see, because that was a really fun tack to use. Trying to find the placement. Here we go. Just there. See if it works. Probably won't be magical if it still does. Now, we cleaned up that blue wave so quickly. You have time to just sort of chillax a bit. Put this guy under here. What would be cool is if your zoom, if you could still somehow press a button and zoom in and out when you're in the building mode. Yeah, it might not, but it'd be fun to try. So the next wave is coming in, and how are we looking at shells? Got quite a healthy amount of shells, plus some of the ones that will be the last build. Hellfires are putting in a ton of work. These things would perform much better if we were able to actually just reach into there. Needs to be like right here and at the same height as this one, and then it'd be able to shoot into there. So that could be a really good setup if you could raise that more. If you wanted to build a Pacific build just for this sort of scenario, we would raise this one up highest, and you'd probably be able to reach into there. Pretty damn crazy. And we're getting up to the part where we really started to stumble for, and see how quickly these guys just race through and destroy everything. Absolutely incredible how fast they are with those upgrades in the risk instance. I build some more stakes this time to keep them at bay so they can't charge right in. So not a complete AFK, but pretty damn close. We're not having to do anything ourselves, and the base can manage it quite nicely. Got some nebula coming in. Sort of have a look at the health, the ammo of everything. Okay, Hellfires are going all right. The towers on the bottom actually still got a bit. We haven't used any other towers, so pretty good. The other thing that's really cool, what we could do, better not send these guys. This should definitely stop the Blade Apostle getting through, but we can also use Frost on the springboard. Works quite well. We should also consider upgrading these guys. I was thinking that was the springboard. Silly me. Yeah, we got a tank. Oof, gonna be a bit hard to hit. Can't hit it from here. Where is he? Oh, he's trying to get stuck on oh, he's stuck on the stake. Oh, it does work still. This guy's stuck. Oh shit, he goes to Apostles. Oh, absolutely annihilating them this time. Thank God for these walls. Holy Jesus, look how much of a punishment and take. Yeah, so that's millions in health. Was that 2 million health? Hard to figure out when it's so quick. Okay, well, we just staunched it this time. Just a few extra little bit of defense. Some of the mechs at the front, bit more ammo, and we can AFK it. 406 is putting in a ton of work. Getting up to the last bit. Now, depending if we get Chronos or Cryus, we will see. I think it's going to be a bit harder if it's Cryus, because in the air, a bit harder to retarget and hit. If it's Chronos, we should have him no worries. Just wait for him to drop now. In the meantime, we might just put some more ringboard, because these things are badass. Oh, and we're out of material. Right. front. We should have tons and tons of shells getting popped out now. Few issues here when this guy tries to pull up some, they can get stuck. For the most part, this area will need some rework, and other than that, for the most part, it's working quite nice. I love the idea of having shells just like drooping down different levels to feed. Oh, here we go. Okay, so we got Kronos this time. This will be easy with all these 406. Yeah, look at that, easy. I mean, it still took, what was that, nearly 8 or 10 shots to kill it. Very nice. Still, it made it super simple, and we will be taking all this out. This guy is still completely stuck on this, which is kind of crazy. There you go. So the stakes still work. A really, really cool thing to see. Doesn't seem to work so well on some of the apostles, but on the tanks, that could be a good strategy to do on both areas. Because if they're trying to target from here and trying to target it through this concrete platform structure to the other side, then that's going to work well. But the only trouble is those tanks at the same time are providing, what is it, shield and boost to the scorpions running past. So yeah, it's got an extra shield there. It's just getting stronger. How much health did they have? That is 1 million. Yeah, 1 million. Damn. Okay, so that's a ton of health. Now we're into the red, into the final bits of it. Going so much better than the first time. We did cheese it, but it's more just to demonstrate the potency of running so many of the 406s, and just to give you an example that we can actually easily get through it, a run with so many risk incidents and having absolutely breeze through it just with a few bit of changes. We're not through it yet, so I better not just count all my things at once. What is it? All my ducks at once? All my what's the saying? I've forgotten. Let me know in the comments. Without having all these walls here though, we would have been in so much more of a difficult spot because the speed of the scorpions has increased. We'll just turn on these bottom ones to attack the scorpions for this last bit, because they could finish us quite quickly. Probably need to try to get some stakes as well, so they don't get too close to the defenses, because that will be problematic. As soon as they get under and we're out of ammo on the bottom layers, which we can turn on some ammo makers as well. But those are the hangers. What's that? That should be some of the ones on the bottom layer. God, we're nearly there. 70 seconds. Looks like we've got it. Now, what would be cool to see is all the different heroic gear we get, and to see if it does stack. Just make sure, keep an eye on everything's going all right. Definitely can see that we do need to get some more shells to some of these other ones. There are a few that aren't connect proper yet. Curious to see if this guy can actually pick up any ammo as well. Pretty sure from that height, it's no worries, because I've just been reconfiguring the base a bit. Test some things out. 30 seconds to go. Got it. Nice. Okay, so if we just escape and exit here, see, we should get, I don't know, not going to tell us here, is it? Okay, so we get 1 heroic drop, 2 heroic drop, and what, maybe 4? Because that's doubled up. But we have to enemy movement speed, destroy all enemies on recovery day. So we're going to destroy all enemy, and then we should be okay. Double the regions. Yeah, so maybe 4 supply cations of heroic, which is awesome. I love how they've got that now. It makes it so much more advantageous to like try get more risk incidents and push your base to its limit. But what a run. Now, it does look like it can't be just solely 406s, but you can get very, very close. We'll go no, and we'll see what kind of goodies we get. We do have to kill, we got to kill a few more of these guys. The tanks. Yeah, here it is. Oh, we got it. They left arriving. Now, there's probably not really anything I want to pick up, but everything maxed out other than the heroic. Going to be tech points, a few bits here. The only thing I'd be doing with those is just throwing them in the material converter pretty much. But let's have a look. So we've got the drop ship coming through, and the airlift has arrived. Now, here we go. So we got 1, 2, 3 supply drops. 1 landed on the base. Kind of thinking get 4. Love how they just land on the base. I was like, base is too big, bro. Now, see what we got. Oh, we got cataract and a nano processor. Very, very nice. Oh, see what we got on this one. Bit choppy. We got an iron battery, cataract core. Hell yeah. And for the last one, got to be a cruiser cannon in here, surely. No, we got uranium. Nice. That's pretty damn cool. So it doesn't look like that other one stacks, because I was expecting to get 4, but still, that's wicked. There we have it though. The 406 electromagnetic is an absolute weapon. Highly suggest putting that onto your base, especially if you can get them up quite high. I haven't tested them being low, and especially even say on the ground floor. It'd be kind of interesting to see how that work. There'll be too many things for collateral in that sort of build, but very, very cool to see. So given this, we can say that the 406 works quite well, and then we can test this in infinite mode, which we'll make another video where we do a proper run of infinite mode. If you did get anything out of this, like, subscribe. We will do another video on this on the infinite mode. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace.